Let's eat some salsa. I told you guys a while ago that I don't really like eating breakfast for breakfast, and I wasn't lying. This is the kind of stuff I like to eat for breakfast. So we got a big bowl of salsa. Let's dig in. I made this last night, and don't worry, I will tell you what is in it. That's so good. Okay, my salsa recipe is very simple. I have no measurements. You guys already know that. So you're going to want tomatoes. I use Roma tomatoes. I have used other ones and they're fine, but Roma tomatoes usually taste the best. I'll just say what I used for this batch. I think I used about 15 Roma tomatoes for this batch. Then I used an entire red onion. 1.5 jalapenos. It really depends on like the kind you get. Sometimes they're like super spicy and sometimes they taste like green peppers. Then of course cilantro. I love cilantro, so I use a lot. You definitely don't have to use that much. I use like 2 full cilantros. Sometimes I only use 1. It just really depends on like how potent your cilantro is. Okay. Then of course limes. Again, it really depends on how juicy the lime is. Sometimes I only have to use like 1 really big juicy lime. Then for the seasonings, salt, duh. I use a little bit of black pepper because I just like the taste it gives. You're going to want to add sugar, maybe like a teaspoon of sugar, maybe a little less, and then see if you want to add more later. And then the last seasoning I add is cumin, and I add a lot of it. I love the taste of it. And how I make it, I use one of those like vegetable choppers so that everything's the same size for the tomatoes, the jalapenos, and the onions. Everything else obviously you just hand chop. I don't scoop out the middle of my tomato. I just don't find it necessary. If the salsa is too wet when I'm done mixing it, I'll just pour a little bit of the juice out because once it sits in the fridge overnight, it's going to get even more juicy and you don't want too much juice. Is anyone else weird like me and doesn't like breakfast for breakfast? Okay, that's last bite. Cheers. I want to know your salsa recipe. I like a simple salsa, but I'm willing to branch out.